Okay, welcome to class again. This is Sports and Entertainment Marketing with Mr. Pederson through North Valley. And we had done lesson 2.3 on video, and now we're doing lesson 2.4. Lesson 2.4 on page 47 to follow along is talking about financial analysis. Uh, Today we're going to discuss the sources of funding and revenue for sports and entertainment businesses, and then also describe some tools for financial analysis, so analyzing the finances of that business. Uh, the whole reason that people will go into business surrounding sports and entertainment is to generally just make a profit. That's called the profit motive. You're in business to make a profit, and it's unpredictable whether you're going to be making a profit or not. Um, and since it's unpredictable, you may want to have other people invest into your business or give you money to get your business started. So it's not all just you taking that risk, it is also you and your investors taking that risk. If you run out of money, then that business will simply cease to exist or stop existing. Um, on finding funding, it talks about that businesses and individuals will make money all on different levels. Since there's a number of people that come together within the entertainment and sports industry, um, there is a possibility to gain money by making money, and there's also a possibility to lose that money. So marketing represents just one activity within that entity or that business in order to make or lose money. There's people that are going to be owners of that event, and they must risk their own money, and then they also must market that event, or else they might find other people who are willing to invest or sponsor that event, and then the investors will invest some money, and then they will also help plan and market that event. But the owners have to convince the investors that there is a potential for a profit. Like if you as a student came to me and said, Mr. Pederson, I need $10,000 to put on a concert, and I know for a fact that we'll make your money back, my money back, and you'll also make money back on your money. So you'll be ahead more than the $10,000 you invested. So in order to get people to invest, I want to see what expenses you're going to have over the production of that concert, and then how you're going to be making revenue, whether it be ticket sales, whether it be memorabilia, whether it be concessions, whether it be sponsorships from other businesses. I want to see all those different expenses and revenues so I can see where my money's going and how it's going to be spent, and then how much money I'll make back on my idea or on my investment. In the book on page 48, flipping the page, it talks about financing movies can be pretty expensive. Movies for teenagers with young actors are a money-making asset for filmmakers. The salaries paid to young and upcoming actors are sometimes between $50,000 and $150,000, which are considerably less than the $20 million salary of the superstars. They can also cost 50% less to advertise than big budget movies too. And then also advertising or showing those movies on TV channels directed towards your teens, such as music video channels, like your MTV network, your VH1, your Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, kind of all in the same ownership group. If you show those in that same area, then it may also save money on marketing that way. So the investors, what do investors do? Investors usually provide the funding to cover all of those expenses that's going to be happening before tickets are even sold. Those costs could include the salaries for the cast of the concert or that movie or for something else. And then the cost of those facilities. So if you put on a concert, where are you going to be renting or having this concert from? The cost of promoting this event or the concert or the movie. So having the flyers around town, having TV commercials, having radio commercials. All the investors will be taking on that money. And then all the other costs that go into making that event happen, such as all this fine tuning small details of the lights, the cameras, the fog machines, whatever else. In return for providing all that money to cover the costs, the investors want to know what their return on investment will be. their ROI. The return on investment is the income from a venture that is distributed to investors. So whatever money comes in is going to be redistributed out to the investors, and the investors want to see what type of return or what kind of money they'll make off their money invested. So where do revenues come from? If you're going to hold a concert or a movie or a sporting event, where does all that money come from to repay those investors? Well, first off, it's usually going to be ticket sales, and then it's also going to be broadcast rights. Is this a concert or movie going to be broadcasted anywhere? Let's just stick with a concert idea. Is this concert going to be broadcast on the radio? Is it going to be recorded to turn into a DVD later? Um, then there's also money generated from licensing fees. Is someone going to be using your name, your band name, your title, your song names? Um, and then they're also going to be generating revenue from facilities. The facility revenues are like, how do you generate revenue from a building? Well, and the facility revenue is generated from sponsorship advertising, which is the different signage that's around. Like Excel 93 might be a sponsor or advertiser for this event, so you would have an Excel 93 sign. When people go to a concert, they generally have to park somewhere. When I went to, what's the last concert I've been to? Well, the last concert I went to, I know for a fact I had to park. And it's usually like $15 for parking, which definitely covers a little bit. If you were to a concert at the Ralph Engelstad Arena, you're going to have the parking, and then you may also be able to rent a luxury suite, those suites that are in the mid-level, the 200 level of the Ralph. Those are another facility rent revenues that come in. And then there's also going to be concessions and then rental of those concession stands to vendors. So you may be selling those concessions, or you may be renting out those concession stands to someone else to make you money. So this event has got to attract the fans that's going to use some of their financial resources, their limited financial resources, because not everybody has a ton of money just to blow anywhere. If you have limited financial resources, they're going to be wanting to spend their money appropriately. Okay. To purchase tickets, to buy that licenses merchandise, like the T-shirts, the band T-shirts, and then also the food and the beverages that they would have there. So how does it happen in the real world? So let's say the NFL, for example. NFL is showing on NBC and Fox Sports and ESPN. So those television networks, ESPN, ABC, or NBC, and Fox Sports, generate revenue by selling commercial time to the advertisers. The commercial time happens in between possession breaks, so if a team punts the ball and turns it over, and kickoff, and injury timeouts, regular timeouts, halftime, or the 2-minute warnings. The TV networks will sell advertising space in between those different times to different affiliated stations or for other products. To clear a profit, they must bring in more revenue than they spend on buying the rights to air those sporting events. So if you want to make money, you've obviously got to make more money than you spend in order to generate a profit. So the total of television contracts with the NFL will cost CBS, Fox Sports, ESPN, NBC over $3.1 billion each year from 2006 to 2011. That was one of the big deals of the collective bargaining agreement, why the NFL was locked out, is because the players felt like they should be getting some of that money that's used on the ticket or used in the television networks. And the teams had bankrolled a lot of that money, $3.1 billion, to hold out, so saying that they're fine with the players locked out, they're still going to make some money. Okay, so where is that money? Where does that money happen? Using the core standards of marketing. One of the core standards is financing. And financing will help budget, find ways to pay the costs of doing business, manage those costs so that they don't exceed the revenues, and they'll also help customers pay for the products or services. So since sports and entertainment events cost millions of dollars to produce, there's tons and tons of planning gone into this for financial planning. This financial planning is called forecasting. The same as if you were to forecast the weather, you're going to predict what the weather is going to be for the next 5 days. Financial forecasting is predict the expenses that are going to be incurred and revenues that will be received from that special event. The information from that forecasting is very, very, very vital. On page 49 then, it talks about a budget. That budget is a plan on how those available funds will be spent. If you were to take a roadmap or find a roadmap to get from your house to the school I teach at, you're going to have a turn-by-turn plan. The same way goes for a budget. A budget's like that roadmap for spending and has that specific purpose. To control the costs, to make sure that they don't exceed the funds available so that you don't overspend. Turning to page 250, I'm going to wrap things up here. And it talks about financial statements. This is going to be on the test for sure. I know for a fact it is. So after you've forecasted, you figured out how much money you plan on spending, and then you are going to budget that money that you've spent, so figure out where you're going to spend all that money. All those records need to be kept, and they get kept into financial statements. The recorded data is organized into statements that report the condition of that business. A balance sheet, which is on the test, you'll have to define that, shows the company's assets, which are items of value such as like cash, property, equipment, cars, vehicles. Anything that can be owned is an asset. And then a balance sheet also shows its liabilities, which money is that is owed to different purchasers that you have made on credit. So if you charge something and you pay at a later date, would be considered a liability. Any credit cards would be a liability. And then it also shows the difference between the assets and the liabilities. So if you've got $10,000 of assets and $5,000 of liabilities, that means that you have a net worth or your owner's equity of $5,000. So whatever's left over between assets and liabilities is your net worth. So on the balance sheet, there's the three things: the assets, the liabilities, and net worth or owner's equity. So that's one financial statement that shows a snapshot of the business's finances at the time. And then the other financial report is called the income statement. That income statement shows all the revenues, all the money that's come in, and that also shows all the expenses that have gone out. So if you take your $100,000 of revenues and your $40,000 of expenses, that's going to show a net profit of $60,000. Okay, so your income statement shows money that's come in, money that's gone out, and whether you're making or losing money. Okay, now for investors, potential investors that are going to be in the future, your investors will want to look at your balance sheets. They'll want to look at your income statements to see like how efficient you are in budgeting and planning before they decide to invest in one of those different ventures. Questions that I'm going to have you answer today on page 51 for lesson 2.4 is going to be questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to answer questions 1 through 4 on page 51 for lesson 2.3. If you have any questions, again, you can email me at christopher.r.pederson. I want you to include this in your chapter 2 document, so you should have lesson 2.1, 2, 3, and 4 all in one document. If you can't figure that out, you can email me or you can write in your document. I'll be able to check that out. And make sure that you share it with me. It should only have to be shared once because you can just update it and it's continuously updated. And you can share that to christopher.r.pederson@sendit.nodac.edu. Or send christopher.r.pederson@gmail.com. I'm sorry. So I guess we'll see you again. And looking ahead, we'll have the chapter assessment tomorrow, the chapter 2 assessment tomorrow, which will be a Wednesday. And then we'll have the chapter test on Thursday. And then we'll do a short case study that's going to be on Friday. Okay, until then, we'll see you next time.